long-awaited Thrustmaster T818 is finally here. It's the company's first ever and certainly long-awaited entry into the direct drive world, which comes in at $650. Thrustmaster has kindly sent me this wheelbase for review purposes, so in this video I'll be putting it through its paces and telling y'all what I do and do not like about the highly anticipated Thrustmaster T818. Throughout the month of January 2023, I'm giving away an SHH pattern shifter. Click the link at the top of the video description to enter, and don't forget to subscribe for many more giveaways to come.
Okay, let's go.
Right off the bat, I'll commend Thrustmaster for taking a different route with the overall styling of this product. Unlike traditional direct drive wheelbases, the T818 has a hexagonal design similar to both the T248 and T128, and has several unique features on the wheelbase itself, such as dynamic RGB lights placed up front, interchangeable side panels, which although sold separately is a cool feature, and even an emergency cutoff switch built into the base.
Let's press it to see what happens.
No, but seriously, the emergency stop button on the wheelbase is a very cool feature.
As of the making of this review, the bright RGB lights up front don't do anything but kinda look cool, but Thrustmaster is hoping that in the future they'll be integrated into games to work as flag or rev indicators and other such things, which would make them a lot more useful. Overall, the build quality is a bit underwhelming for a product at this price, with a mix of metal but a lot of injection molded plastic as well, which Thrustmaster claims is to reduce weight. Despite that, I am a fan of the colored side plates, which do give a bit more personality to this wheelbase, though I think it would have made far more sense to allow the buyer to choose which color he or she would have liked to receive included with their order.
And that's a fact.
Which color would you go with? Let me know in the comments.
On the back is where you'll be plugging everything in, including the power supply, USB cable, pedals, and other Thrustmaster accessories. Notably, the on-off button is also located back here, which makes it hard to reach, so I would have definitely preferred to see that up front instead. What you do receive up front is Thrustmaster's updated quick release system, which from my experience has both its positives and negatives. For starters, it will work with all existing Thrustmaster wheel rims, and once properly set, does only take a few seconds to interchange wheels. The problem is that in order to actually use the quick release, you'll need to purchase the $35 Thrustmaster quick release adapter for every single individual wheel you want to swap in and out quickly. And if you're thinking that you'll just use the included quick release adapter that comes standard with the T818 with your different Thrustmaster wheels, then you'll be spending literal minutes changing wheels, as the process of removing, unscrewing, untightening, and then attaching, screwing, and tightening the adapter from one wheel to another takes substantial time and effort. Far worse than that though is the substantial side-to-side flex I noticed from all three rims tested. Despite tightening and screwing as much as possible, I always felt significant flex coming from the shaft, which was very noticeable, especially when rallying.
Why is there so much flex?
I will note that the T818 package I received came with a beta quick release adapter, so I'm really hoping that that has to do with the flex I experienced and that it will be resolved in the final version. Either way, my experience with the new quick release system in the T818 has been a little bit bittersweet. As I've already made a separate video about in the past, my least favorite part of this wheelbase has got to be the unusual mounting pattern, which unless you purchase an additional cockpit mounting kit for €40, will likely require you to drill holes onto your cockpit to allow for proper hard mounting. Thrustmaster claims this is due to the hexagonal design of the wheelbase, which results in an odd mounting pattern, so I had to go ahead and get my hands dirty. And by my hands, I mean my brother's, who was the one who actually drilled the holes in for me. Anyway, once everything was properly set, it was time to get out on track, and I'm very happy to report that the T818 does perform strikingly well, and I really mean that. It puts out up to 10 Nm of force, which isn't anything groundbreaking considering what's out there, but after adjusting everything to my liking, it was a truly immersive experience. I'm not sure what Thrustmaster has done differently, but very subtle details like road textures, bumps, curbs, and even the smallest of pebble that I drove over, I was able to feel with very good detail. In fact, I can confidently say that from a detail perspective alone, this felt a lot better than any other direct drive wheel I've tested before. It's simply very well tuned to give off those very small cues. Of course, everything else like its quickness, its strength, and its cues given back to the driver is very much on par to all other direct drive bases and allowed me to remain engaged and in control at all times. The T818 will only currently work on PC, but is expected to be compatible with at least Xbox or PlayStation sometime in the near future, and was compatible with all of the several games I tested it on. Ultimately, I don't want to overcomplicate my review on this wheelbase with detailed jargon I don't even understand. Frankly, from a driver's perspective, it has been absolutely great and delivers a truly immersive and authentic driving feel I've not been able to replicate with others before. That's of course great, but like I've mentioned before, the T818 is certainly not without its controversial flaws, and in today's extremely competitive direct drive market, other competitors may look and be a lot more enticing. In my personal opinion, the best candidates to purchase the T818 are those who are already invested in the Thrustmaster ecosystem with several wheel rims and a set of pedals. In that case, you'll be able to experience a very capable direct drive wheelbase with all of your favorite rims. Those not currently invested in any Thrustmaster gear will of course have to weigh in the pros and the cons of the T818 as well as other competition and see what's most right for you. At the end of the day, I'm not a fan of the pay for more approach Thrustmaster is taking with the mounting kits, side panel colors, and quick release adapters, which will quickly raise the price you pay, but I must admit that they've done a great job with the actual performance given out of the T818, which is ultimately the most important thing. And with that, it's ultimately down to you to decide whether the T818 is the right choice for you. As always, thank you all for watching, stay safe, and have a fantastic rest of your day.